Welcome to the Thomas
and Haley Show by doing everything blind.
Good late Sunday morning, wonderful people. Thomas, Haley, and Chris here. Welcome back to another edition of the Thomas and Haley Show. And in this video, we're going to be doing 10 jumping jacks. No, I'm kidding. In this,
pull-ups.
all right, why don't you do the honors and tell them what we're going to be talking about?
Well, to the beautiful world at large, we are going to be talking to you guys about preferences of and arrangements of living on your own, which that could also classify like with your spouse or partner and whatnot, or living with family.
Right.
And he is calling me, but I will call him back. So, Martin.
Oh, speaking of Martin, if you guys want to join, we're having drinks on FaceTime at Tuesday at 3 o'clock if you guys want to join us.
Well, the good news is, babe, we're not working that day, so yeah, we can do that.
Awesome.
So, you want to say your piece first, Thomas, or do you want one of us to start?
Ladies first.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. That goes second.
Darn, it was so eager to make its appearance. No, and that we'll call him back. Okay, so for me personally, I'd rather live, on my own / with my significant other, of course, my future husband, Chris, because in that case, we can make our own rules, we can do things whenever we need to, whenever we want to, and it's more peaceful and quiet that way, really, because before that, I was at a family member's house, and unfortunately, one of family members' sibling and her kids, of course, they got kicked out where they were before, and they're probably still there to this day, and it was a lot.
Right.
Apparently I was told, well, you're the least of my worries, so... but eventually I was able to get my name on the lease of the apartment where Chris was, and I was like, well, we live together now, so that's nice. And it's just nice to wake up in the morning and just, well, we don't need to rush to do certain things, because there's no one here but you and I, so... And plus it allows us to, get to know each other more as a couple, living together, work on certain skills like cooking together, cleaning, and all those things. And yeah, just the aspects of life of being an adult, and it gives you the opportunity to do it. So that's my preference, is like to live my own / with Chris versus like still being home with like mom and dad or family or whatever. Because also in this case, we have our own privacy too. We're not being interrupted by, oh, so-and-so, not sharing the iPad, or so-and-so hit me, or whatever. We don't gotta deal with that. So that's what I prefer. I prefer to live on my own / live with Chris situation.
Right. I mean, there are pros and cons to living on your own, the pros are, some of the pros anyway are, you don't have to be, bothered by your parents, or your siblings if you have siblings, and then if you're in a relationship, and if, your other half could come over to your house, or you could go to their house, and you wouldn't have to follow any stupid ass rules. If you live with your parents, you wouldn't have to worry about rules. He can only come for, or she can only come over for this amount of time, or you can't sleep over. You know how they are.
Yeah.
You know how some parents can be. But if you live on your own, you can do what you want. You can be as loud as you want.
Of course, just be respectful of your neighbors and
depending
such.
on your, if you have neighbors close by,
Yeah.
It's just, depending on your living situation, but there's just a lot of good things about living on your own. You can wake up whenever you want. You can go in the morning whenever you want. You can go to sleep whenever you want. You're just free. You're free to do what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the pros to living with your parents or parent is maybe if you have a medical condition, like if you have seizures, at least if you lived with your parents or parent, if something happened to you, they would be there. Um, and, or if you had another disability, like if you were blind or something, or had another disability, at least your parent or parents could help you if you needed something. So, there are pros and cons to everything, Utopians.
There it is.
So, yeah. And,
And
Chris, I want to thank you for coming up with this idea because this definitely is a great topic for sure, my friend.
You want to say your piece, bud?
Shoot, living on your own, you gotta pay your own bills, gotta buy your own food.
Gotta take your own shit.
If you gotta get your own transportation if you can't drive.
Right.
You gotta,
keep up your own schedule, make your own schedule of like I need to do this. I want to do this, but I need to do this first, kind of thing.
Unless if you have a friend nearby who can drive you, then
Yeah.
But even if you did, though, you don't want to keep relying on them all the time because they have like their own life too. So.
Yep. Cool.
And of course, another thing I want to bring up that I think is relevant to this is that when you're living on your own, like, don't make life harder for you, make it easier for you. So like if you can't always go to the grocery store because you don't have anyone to take you or anything like that, get the apps, get the Walmart app, or you can download Instacart or even with the Walmart app, which this is what I use, called Walmart Plus. It's the same thing, of course. That's just their system of doing it. And you just make the orders online, and if they don't have the certain things certain brands or whatever, they can give you substitutes, which you can either accept or decline. And the shopper, they go, well, you prepaid for the stuff already. So then they go shop for it, and they come, and then they just locate you and give it to you. Which, that is lovely, but of course, based on how much that can add up and such, I try not to do that often, so if it's sometimes we might need to get like a couple things, not so much where it's not worth to do Walmart Plus. We'll ask someone, like a friend of ours that was here this weekend. She came up on Saturday, and we went to the grocery store to get some things, and we went out to eat afterwards because she was desperate for some grilled shrimp, specifically, which was very funny. Yes. Yep. And of course, knowing this friend, when we asked her, this was a few days before, because I asked her what her availability was, and I was like, hey, to pay you back, you can spend the night with us. And that's exactly what she did. So, and she appreciated the idea.
Wow.
And we appreciate that too, Robert. You always do the whole Robert names. It's like, let me try to do that one. But no. Also, I think I don't know if y'all would think this is relevant or not, but I guess another thing about living on your own, you don't have to worry about people being underneath the same roof disrespecting you and all those things.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Like, can you, like, you're gonna help me with this? No, he or she said they're gonna help me with this. Like, okay, like, just stop. Like, we don't have to deal with that because it's only us two here.
Right.
Yeah. But also, there is a benefit to living with somebody else. You can split the bills.
And that's what you and I do. We split bills.
Or even if you stay with your parents, you just give them money towards, food, whatever bills you got.
Or at least try to, because sometimes they will say, don't worry about it, which sometimes you want to insist, like, well, I'm going to pay anyway, because that's just the adult thing to do and the polite thing to do.
And then there are some parents who are like, you need to chip in with this, you need to chip in with that.
That is true.
There is. Which, thank goodness, I never had any family members like that. Of course, I always offered to pay for something. I'm like, I can cover that. They're like, no, it's okay. I'm like, okay, but I'll do this next time, and then that's pretty much what I do.
Now,
so.
if I was a father, I would not force my son or daughter to chip in. I wouldn't do that.
I think the only time I would do that is if let's just say, babe, if you and I had kids, right, and they're grown, like in their late teens or early 20s or whatever. If you're old enough to be able to get a job or go to school or have the ability to get your own place, you're gonna be at mom and dad's house. I'm sorry, but because we did what we needed to do. But I was like, well, you're grown now. You have the ability to do this, the ability to do that.
But I'm
go out in the world to do it, basically.
No, but what I'm saying is I wouldn't make my kid or kids. I wouldn't force them to chip in with groceries or whatever. I wouldn't force them to do that. Is my point.
Well,
we know that.
I mean, you wouldn't do that, but I mean, if Chris and I had kids and they're grown and they're choosing to live with us, not choosing to look anything for themselves, I mean, you're gonna support this household regardless. No matter what it is. If it's gonna be groceries, it's gonna be groceries. If it's gonna be whatever, then that's what that is.
The way I would put it is like this: I would appreciate it if you, instead of telling them what they have to do, I would say I would appreciate it if you would please chip in with this or that. Like I wouldn't be forceful. Is my point. I wouldn't be.
Well, neither would we. We're basically saying
No, but I'm like,
but we're not having.
But some parents are like that. Like you need to do this, you need to do that.
Tell me out here.
No, but I see what you're saying, though.
I mean, I do too. But you and I were trying to say something. But tell me out here.
And I mean, the point I'm making is, if you're a grown person still living with your parents, and you know that they're older, can't do as much as they used to. Get your butt out there and help. Don't sit there and be lazy and rely on them all the time.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making.
At least that's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah. Anyways,
because there's people out in this world that don't respect and love their parents like they should.
You're right. Absolutely. You're right about that.
They think they got the money, I can use it to buy whatever I want.
Unfortunately, there are some kids who just walk all over their parents, and it's terrible.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
And it's sad.
It is.
But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Just make sure, by the time you make the decision to still live with your parents or live on your own, make sure you think smart and plan ahead of time before you just go out and not be all willy-nilly. And remember, everyone has a talent, any type of skills of talent, and I did not want Thomas to fuck that up, so yeah.
And make sure that you subscribe to these wonderful people's channels, Talented HV and Low Vision Technology LVT, and please subscribe to my channel, Doing Everything Sighted. Just kidding, Doing Everything Blind. Thanks so much for watching.
Take care,
y'all take care. Well, guys, thanks for watching the Thomas and Haley Show. We sure hope you have enjoyed it.
Please like, comment, share, and turn on all notifications for Doing Everything Blind so you will not miss any episodes of the Thomas and Haley Show. And we'll see y'all next time.